Namaskar, I am Biju Dharmapalan and you are watching Science Time, a show that brings you the latest developments from the world of science and technology. Let's first look at some of the exciting stories. Glass beads on moon's surface may hold billions of tons of water. DNA from Beethoven's hair reveals clues about his death. Pioneer of smooth physics wins Abel Prize. Now let's see the news in detail. As countries rush to the moon, a new finding has raised hopes for a sustained long-term human presence on the lunar surface. Scientists have found that moon could possibly have billions of tons of water in the glass beads spotted on the surface that could be extracted. The glass beads are formed from the cooling off of melted material that was ejected by the moon and are found across the surface of the rugged terrain. The discovery was done by analyzing samples of lunar soil returned from China's Chang'e 5 mission. The findings suggest that lunar soils contain a higher amount of water derived from solar wind. The discovery is thought to be one of the most important breakthroughs yet for space agencies that have set their sights on building bases on the moon, as it means there could be a highly accessible source of water, hydrogen and oxygen. According to the lead researcher, Professor Mahesh Anand at the Open University UK, this is one of the most exciting discoveries made so far. With this finding, the potential for exploring the moon in a sustainable manner is higher than it's ever been. Hints that moon might not be an entirely arid wasteland have emerged from previous missions. In the 1990s, NASA's Clementine orbiter found evidence of frozen water in deep step-sided craters near the moon's poles. In 2009, India's Chandrayaan-1 spacecraft spotted what appeared to be a thin layer of water bound up in the surface of moon dust. The latest research published in Nature Geoscience points to fine glass beads as source of that surface water. Unlike frozen water lurking in permanently shaded craters, this should be far easier to extract by humans or robots working on the moon. Let's move to the next story. Strands of hair from Ludwig van Beethoven have revealed what may have led to the classical music composer's death. During his lifetime, the German composer Beethoven reportedly suffered from a slew of health problems, including hearing loss, gastrointestinal issues, and liver disease. He started losing his hearing in his mid-20s as he started to grow in fame. He was almost completely deaf by his mid-40s and ended his performing career. During that time, he wrote a letter requesting that his condition be studied by experts. A study published in the peer-reviewed scientific journal Current Biology found that the great musician had a genetic predisposition for liver disease after sampling preserved locks of Beethoven's hair for DNA sequencing. He also had hepatitis B, at least in the months leading up to his death. That, coupled with his alcohol consumption, could have been what led him to have severe liver disease later on in his life, which ultimately resulted in his death at the age of 56. Researchers also found that he had a hepatitis B infection in the months prior to his death, which may also have been a contributing factor to his demise. However, despite being able to find explanations for some of Beethoven's ailments, the study noted that the DNA found in his hair didn't provide an explanation for his hearing loss or gastrointestinal problems. Now let's move to the next story. Argentina-born mathematician Luis Cafaril has won the 2023 Abel Prize, one of the most coveted awards in mathematics, for his seminal contributions to regularity theory for nonlinear partial differential equations, including free boundary problems and the Monge-Ampere equation. First awarded in 2003, the Abel Prize recognizes pioneering scientific achievements in mathematics. It is named after Norwegian mathematician Niels Henrik Abel, who in his short life made pioneering contributions in the multitude of fields. It is often considered to be an equivalent of the Nobel Prize, which does not have a category for mathematics and has been modeled as such. The prize includes a monetary award of 7.5 million kroner, that is roughly $720,000, and a glass plate designed by Norwegian artist Henrik Haugen. The Abel Prize is awarded by the Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters on behalf of the Ministry of Education. Now let's move to Science Quest segment. The question for this week's Science Quest is, if we colonize moon, will the colonist experience night and day? Yes, anyone living on the moon will experience night and day. But a lunar day and night would last almost an entire Earth month. Earth's gravity causes the moon to elongate slightly on the sides nearest and farthest from us. The gravitational forces acting differently on the near and far side of moon's bulge creates a torque that alters the moon's rotational period to match its orbit period. This is known as tidal locking. Because the moon spins at the same time as it orbits Earth, it only ever presents the same phase to us. But even though the moon is tidally locked to Earth, it is still rotating with respect to Sun. Its rotation period is 29 days, 12 hours and 44 minutes, which is also the length of the lunar month on Earth. So a lunar colonist would experience about 2 weeks of daylight, followed by about 2 weeks of night. Of course, from the near side of the moon, Earth appears to stay in exactly the same position in the sky while the stars rise and set, although Earth's exact position depends on where you are on the moon. The face of Earth will change just like the moon does over a lunar month. But Earth itself will be seen spinning once in a little over 24 hours. Earth would be fully illuminated in the middle of the lunar night, while at New Earth it would be almost hidden in the glare of the sun and showing its unlit nighttime hemisphere. Since Earth is about 4 times the size of the moon, solar eclipses visible on the moon last much longer than on Earth. Every time people on Earth see a total lunar eclipse, anyone living on the moon would see a total solar eclipse. With this, we come to the end of this edition of Science Time. Keep sending your feedback and suggestions through email. Our email ID is indiascience@vigyanprasad.gov.in. We will be back with more exciting stories from the world of science next week. Stay tuned to India Science.